Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I'm Dana K. White. I blog over at aslobcomesclean.com. That's where I share my personal deslobification process. As I figure out ways to keep my own home under control, I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people who don't love cleaning and organizing. Thanks for joining me today. This is podcast number 274, and I'm calling it Working and Having Something to Show for It, because isn't that what we all want? So I'm talking to Autumn today, and I think you guys are really going to love this conversation. We talk about all kinds of really good stuff. We get a little emotional, but I asked if we could leave it in because the things that Autumn is working through and has worked through, I hear those same stories from you guys in emails. And I just think it's good to know that you're not alone. And I appreciate her being willing to share. But we talk through some of her strategies in her own home. And don't worry, it's not all emotional. You don't have to worry about that. It just gets that way a little bit. Yeah, I think you guys are going to love it. So we talk about how to be motivated by something other than panic cleaning with somebody coming over. We talk about well-meaning family members who, out of love, this is where it gets kind of emotional, gave more stuff than we could actually handle. And just working through some of all that goes along with that kind of stuff. And then again, just working, but feeling like you're just not actually getting anything done. So, okay, I think you guys are going to love this. Here we go. Here's Autumn. Thanks for coming on, Autumn. I'm excited that you're here and willing to share with the world.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about you. Tell me about your unique life situation that you're in.
Okay, well, I am an older mom. I'm 52 and I have 7 kids, and they are still all in the house. My oldest is 17 and my youngest is 6. We're all in 4 bedrooms, and my youngest does have Down syndrome, so he is sort of the life of the party as presenting some extra challenges. So yeah, so we're having some fun over here.
Sounds like it. Now, are your kids schooling at home at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all virtual.
Okay.
Although we're lucky, our grandparents live 4 houses away, and the older 3 go to grandma and grandpa's to use their Wi-Fi.
Okay, that's huge. That's very helpful.
That's a very, very helpful thing, yeah. Okay. Also, grandpa is a retired physics and chemistry teacher, so that helps too.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, do they know, have you been given any kind of a timeline on when they might go back to regular school?
Oh, one of the principals mentioned maybe Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving. Oh. But, we don't know. We're in Michigan, so it's pretty tight lockdown still.
Is that all over Michigan that it's that way?
Yeah, our governor has been really protective.
Okay.
So, well, actually, that's not exactly true. Each school district is different. Our school district is doing virtual only right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I find it so interesting, and Thanksgiving is actually very, very, very soon.
It's true. Yeah.
I'm not for sure that yours will air before Thanksgiving, but anyway, people will understand. Okay. So tell me, what strategy has impacted your home the most?
Well, I've thought about that question a lot. Your container concept has been really helpful, but the thing that I really rely on is the take it now there. Take it there now.
Okay.
It's something that I struggle with. I really am wired to not take it there now, to put it in a pile, to take it there in a minute as soon as I've gathered enough things to go there, which then leaves me with a house full of piles, and my family then claims I didn't know what that bunch of stuff over there was. And then it's all my jurisdiction all of a sudden, and I get no help. So it's really much better to pick up the scissors and put the scissors where they go instead of wait, till I have scissors and a pen and the tape dispenser.
So you have come to a point where you're doing that and seeing the benefit of taking it there now?
Oh, absolutely. But it's still a struggle. It's like, it goes against the grain, so hard.
Well, I think to me, it makes me think about, I feel so much better when I eat salad with grilled chicken and blah, blah, my body feels better. I think better. And yet for some reason, When I'm looking at the menu, I'm like, oh, chicken fried chicken sounds really good.
Or if I open the fridge, what's in there?
Right, exactly. So yeah, no, I get it. But I'm encouraged. Like, do you remember how long ago you filled out your form?
A long time ago.
Okay. So because that was actually one of your biggest challenges at one point, was not being able to make yourself do the take it there now. So it's encouraging me to hear you say that you're now doing that, and you see
I am doing it.
impact.
I'm doing it. And the house is actually better. It's noticeably better. But
because of that, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 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 And I concentrate hard on the visible areas, like the front entrance, the living room, which is right off the front entrance, and the kitchen. All those things you can see right from the front door. And so I make sure to do those, and I do those by doing the take it there now.
Yes.
Those rooms for sure. So that's been really, really key. I don't make piles there, but where I do make piles is like, in the unseen areas, like the basement. Plus, then I have the excuse, well, I don't want to climb 3 sets of stairs right now. I know. Sets of stairs. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But I think the more that you do that, and the more you see the real impact on actually seeing improvement in your home, the more willing you'll be to fill up your hands as much as you can and go up the basement stairs. Because at some point you'll get to that point where you say, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. I hate it, but I'm going to do it. And then you'll be like, oh, wow, that made a big difference. Okay. It's that building. I think it will definitely come.
Yeah. Yeah. Building habits. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Tell me the second biggest impact. What strategy has had the second biggest impact on your home?
Oh, I would like to say laundry day.
Okay.
Laundry day, because there's 9 of us in the house, laundry day was a really big stumbling block for us. And a lot changed when we stopped using the laundry chute. Actually, we have the bedrooms on the second floor, and the living areas on the first floor, and then the basement is where we have our laundry room. And it's an older house, so we have this chute that you can access from every floor. And we made sure to have it fixed, repaired nicely when we moved into this house, because I thought, what a great tool.
Oh, one of my life dreams is a laundry chute.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so I get it.
Well, this brings me to something I wanted to mention a little later. But anyway, when my dad was at the end of his life, we moved him into our house. And with that, we decided we had to hire a helper. And I'm going to call her Alice, like Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Of course, yeah.
So Alice was an older woman, and she had her ways, and she'd already raised her kids. And this is something that we found her through care.com, not that it matters. But anyway, she was great, and she was a great cook. And she made food for my dad, and he really liked her cooking, and that was awesome. But another thing she did was watch me and how I went through my day. And one thing she saw was that laundry day never ended in our house, because the laundry would keep coming down the chute, and it was always a mountain. Fly Lady, she calls it Mount Washmore. Well, it was Mount Wash forevermore here. And her idea, Alice's idea, was to stop using the laundry chute, which I just couldn't imagine. I'm like, well, but why? We had it fixed exactly for this purpose. And she said, because there's never an end. You never are going to see the last piece of laundry washed. You need an end, and then you can wash again on laundry day. But I thought, there's no way to do 9 people's worth of laundry on one day. And that is sort of true. So, but what we ended up doing was really following your advice to do one person's laundry on each day. And really for us, that means 2 people at a time. And on one day it's 3 people at a time. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 3 days of laundry day, which is way more doable than every day, all day, never ending laundry day. So we, now we have laundry baskets in the rooms, and the kids bring them down on their laundry day, and the older kids really are supposed to do their own laundry and get it done within that day and put away within that day. And that makes such a huge difference for us. And the other thing that really needs to happen on a regular basis is we need to let go of the outgrown stuff. We need to make sure that our clothes fit in our containers. And, there's always new clothes coming in for whatever reason. And there always needs to be clothes leaving. We can't just hold on to every unmatched sock. At some point you say, oh, these socks are tired and it's time for them to go.
They've done their duty.
They've done their duty. Yeah. And, and it's nice to have new socks that have elastic that actually, does what it's supposed to do instead of sag or, I just got like a half a basket of socks that have been good warriors for us, but they're done. They're retired. So, and then that kind of brings me to another point I wanted to talk about, which is I was just thinking that when I put aside things to leave the house, like the bag of old socks or the broken toy that's in a garbage bag now because really it's broken past donating. It's so good when those actually leave my house instead of stay in a bag at the bottom of the stairs or near the garage door. It's so good to pull that trigger. And that's something that's part of the take it there now concept that I really need to do that even more. Like I feel like, well, I got it in the bag. That's good. Now I need to
Which it is good. It is. You've made the decision on that. So is your question how to get it out of the house?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. So I think what you already said was you did do the emotionally hardest part by making that final decision. Like it's done, it's over. You don't have to think about it anymore, but you do have to physically get it out of the house. Now, I think maybe it would be okay for you to expand your definition of trash. Because it's, if the socks have been through 6 kids or 7 kids,
exactly,
and they don't have elastic anymore, yes, there are places that will take fabric and will make rags out of them and rugs or stuffing. I mean, so
there's a rag deposit box over by my kids' middle school.
Okay.
So I can take like my ripped sheets and my old socks there, and that is a stumbling block because that feels like the best way to get rid of it. It's stuck on the best way, and then it just sits.
Yes. I mean, here's the thing. Remember that becoming less overwhelmed in your home gets you to the point where you can do the ideal thing. Okay. So it sounds like that idealism of there is an actual on my way way to get rid of rags that says, put your rags here on it. There's a sign or something, so it's like that sign just taunts you and is like, this is the best way to do things. But then if you forget to do it, part of that is accepting your reality of, I maybe don't have the personality that remembers to put a bag of old socks in my car, or I put it in my car and I don't remember to actually stop and put it in there, or just the fact that your kids aren't actually going to school right now. So for you to say that it's next to their school doesn't actually mean what it used to mean.
That's correct.
So,
That's very accurate. Yeah.
So you have 2 choices. I mean, your choices are you can either say, bye kids, I am running to dump this stuff off. I'm going to, fill my entire car or whatever with old sheets and and I'm going to go take it and I'm going to go shove it in that thing. And that's what I'm doing this morning. And I might grab Starbucks while I'm out and drink it before I get home so nobody knows that I had Starbucks or whatever,
That's right.
but like that's my job for today. That's the thing that's going to make me feel accomplished, because the reality is if you do that, then there's going to be a whole lot less stuff in your house.
Which would feel great. Yeah.
You come back and you're going to feel so accomplished, even though it feels like you're not really doing anything. All you're doing is taking it and dropping it off. But taking it and dropping it off is a big deal.
It is.
Or you can say,
I'm throwing it away.
I can't leave the house because, the younger kids are here. They need me. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it away. Yeah. Because it's ripped and it's, I mean, it's not ideal, but it's kind of like this nice, lovely bonus that you have of a nearby place that takes rags. I mean, I don't have that. That is so appealing to me. So I totally get why you're like, that's the perfect thing to do with this stuff. But at the same time, it's not a blessing if it's causing you to be paralyzed. And so, give yourself permission to say, this stuff is old. And guess what? We've got 7 kids and I'm going to get rid of this stuff. And it's going to make me that much less overwhelmed in my home. It's going to push me forward to making real progress, continuing to make real progress. And the less overwhelmed I am, the more likely I am to take one bag of socks or whatever and go drop it off at this place. I'm more likely to remember to do that and make it part of my routine if I'm less overwhelmed in my home. And the other thing too is once you get that stuff out, either by making it your mission for the morning or making it your, I'm going to throw it in the trash and not worry about it and just work from there later and do better next time, which is completely valid, because it's not donatable, it's just for this one purpose. But as you do that, I was going to say something really important and it just left my brain. It was so good. Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, good.
back to the container concept. But after you get this kind of backlog of stuff out, then to have, if there's space, if there's not, then you just put the stuff in the trash as it comes out of the dryer. But in the future, having a box that's down by the, or a bag, depending on what the recycling place is that you put the stuff into if a box doesn't fit. But having a container that's there by your dryer so that as things come out and it's ripped or it's stained or it's too small or it has no elastic or whatever, you put it in that container and that becomes I only keep in my house what will fit in this container of rags. And when this is full, I can say, do I have it in my schedule? Do I have it in my brain space to actually take this and go, maybe it's a great excuse right now for me to get out of the house, or what, this is just not reality. And so it either becomes, as that's full, it's a trigger for you to say, it's time. Can I do it or not? Does it go to the ideal place or does it go in the trash? Because the reality is that if I let it get past this box that fits in this space, then my house gets out of control. So,
right.
And here's the thing. I'm giving you permission, but I'm also nobody. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need my permission, but at the same time, I am acknowledging that we all feel like we need permission in these situations because there is a perfect, ideal way to do something. But the truth is there are probably people regularly dropping off rags in that thing and they're not going to be
won't be missed. Yeah.
Yours won't be missed. But once you get to the point where you can handle just doing a little bit at a time, then that's when you get to contribute. So it's that what is actually working and what's actually possible. So anyway, is that helpful at all?
No, it is. And I also, I do feel, what do you call it? Accomplished or whatever. I feel like I'm doing the Dana method well when I do have a bag right by my dryer and I've been, I'm such a sentimental person, but I've been letting go of my youngest child's clothing because there's no one to grow into it. And I've spent like my whole motherhood saving the clothes for the next down kid. And now I just take those little size 4 that he doesn't fit anymore and I just put them right away in a donate bag, which is donatable, right? And I fill the bag up and and as soon as it's full, I put it in my car and that always feels great. But I do not have a bag down there for these things that come out of the dryer and they surprise me like, oh, wow, the sheet ripped in half.
Yes.
Now a rag. I didn't have somewhere to put it. And I did. Right now I have a ripped sheet in a bag in my garage and another one in the basement in like a hamper that I would rather have, sorted into. But I know that's, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure you have a word for it, but it's a hesitation. I have all these hesitations and they stumble me. They're stumbling blocks and they need to leave my house.
Here's the thing. You can spend time decluttering something and you're going to be glad that you did it always. But you already know I can literally walk through my house, gather up all the stuff that has been making me feel guilty. And literally in 15 minutes, I am going to feel so good. You know, I mean, like it's going to feel so good to know that that stuff is either in the trash or I'm on my way to go take it to the drop off place.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a interesting phenomenon that I seem to experience on a daily basis where I walk through the room and I'm like, oh, I made the decision. Feel good about it. That's leaving. And oh, I made the decision. That's leaving. Except they're still there. They're still exactly where they have been. And I'm like, okay, well now those need to actually leave, you know.
Right.
And we do it. I do divest our house of all these things. It's just I love things. I think I love.
Well, and I think too, it's that counting. Yes, you're done as far as decisions, you know, like that part is done, but counting the time of taking it and putting it in your car and driving it somewhere and dropping it off, counting that as legitimate time spent working on your home. Like
that's key. I think you're right. That's like crucial.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, and all those things too, you know, if you're seeing a thing here that you've made a decision about and a thing here, you know, remembering having the ongoing donate box or boxes, you know, it's their own containers. So it's like, I'm sticking those things into the donate box. So I'm not seeing those things anymore. And then the donate box goes in a specific spot where this is our donate spot for things. And then that is its own container. So once that has, you know, it's full of donate boxes. Well, that means that guess what? I don't get to declutter in my house today. Instead, I've got to take a trip to the place to get rid of this stuff. Are your places open at this point to get rid of things?
They are. It's interesting. Salvation Army has like an endless line, like
wow,
endless. It wraps around the building, and the building is big, and it's a strip mall, and the line goes all the way around. So I don't prefer that place anymore. I also donated glassware there once, and I watched the guy as he tossed it over his head into a bin, and I heard it all shatter. Oh, even though I wanted those out of my house, I didn't want them smashed.
I know.
But so there is a drop-off place. It's they end up reselling it. I don't know who even benefits from the reselling, but they have a little.
You benefit.
I benefit. That's right.
You benefit by them taking your stuff.
You're right. But I'm able to unload my car at any time into their little vestibule. So that's fantastic. That makes, yeah.
That's great.
So and it's really close. It's like a mile away. So that's something I should take advantage of more. But anyhow, yeah.
That's great. Let's move on to your next question that you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you if you're familiar with the broken window theory. No, I bet you are, but it's a theory from like city planning and crime that when a city starts to have a lot of broken windows, that the idea begins to form that this is an unsafe place and no one will mind if another window gets broken, or maybe my car will get broken, or maybe it's okay to break into that car because no one's watching who's breaking windows. It's an idea that was coming around a lot in the 80s. I'm older than you, so
not much older.
Well, I heard about it, I guess, when I was in college, and so that's a concept I think about. I think about if my room, if my living room is messy, then my kids kind of seem to view it as a broken window room. Like, oh, well, no one will mind if I leave this room a little messier. I don't need to make it nicer. I can just, in fact, toss a popsicle stick under the couch and mom won't even notice it because there's already, you know, or the little kid tossed a popsicle stick or whatever. Like it just seems to accumulate. So I think about the broken window theory when I'm tidying up. I'm like, if I make this room look really nice, it'll be really noticeable when the kids get up. Like I'll do it first thing in the morning, make the room nice, fix the cushions on the couch, you know, just and sweep and stuff and do that so that when they see it, they'll maybe be inspired to keep it nice. It doesn't always work. So I guess what I was sort of thinking of asking you was motivations. Do I clean because I'm worried that it's going to get messier because I'm worried about this broken window theory? Or do I clean because I'm worried about the doorbell ringing and someone's going to see how messy we could be? Or another thing I wanted to ask you is if you saw that TED Talk about the mind of, inside the mind of a chronic procrastinator by Tim Urban.
I did not see it. I saw that you had mentioned that, and I didn't see it.
Okay, so someone posted it on the Kindred Spirits page, and it was great. He talks about how all of us, maybe universally all of us, are procrastinators, and some are more so than others. But he talks about how each of us has a instant gratification monkey keeps us entertained, and that we really buckle down though to meet a deadline or to get a goal accomplished when the panic monster awakens. And so that was another thing that does work in my house, is when I start panicking that whatever, Thanksgiving's in 2 days and family's going to come and see how messy we can be, and then I have a lot of energy. It's panic energy.
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing you say is the reality is panic, a fear of the broken window syndrome, fear of, somebody stopping by, whatever. Those are all things that do motivate you. You wish that you were motivated by all the right reasons of just wanting to do things.
Yeah, that weren't negative and weren't stress-filled. Because I also feel like panicking, and I want the family to panic too. Like, I want you guys to experience this motivation of get up and get this done.
I may have actually said words exactly like that to my family at different times, so I do completely understand. But so here's the thing. It is true. It is great motivation for me to know that somebody's coming over. That can be a hard thing right now because not a lot of people are coming over. It's one of those weird things. So take the motivation where you can get it. Okay. Like, I think it kind of goes back to the idealism we were talking about before, is sometimes what the cycle that can happen. And I'm not saying this is what's happening with you. I'm just saying, I know this is me, and this is what I hear from people a lot, is sometimes it's this, I'm most motivated to clean when someone's coming over. I don't like that about myself. I wish that I was doing this for all the right reasons instead of just to impress somebody or just because of the panic. So I'm not going to invite anybody over and wait until I'm doing everything for the right reasons. But then because I don't naturally do things for the right reasons, and instead I do them for people coming over, then it gets worse and worse and worse. And so then I feel like I now can't invite anyone over because it would be so it's just kind of this endless cycle that can happen. So what I will say is, don't knock the reality of this lights a fire under my bohani and I'm going to take advantage of it. Okay. So don't knock that, which I don't think you are, but at the same time, there is such value in momentum, in knowing that momentum will happen down the line. And it will happen because Dana has told you that it will happen because Dana's experienced it in her own house, but no, and I think you've experienced it to a lot of degrees here, but identify that momentum that you have experienced and say, okay, how can I recreate that, or how can I increase that momentum? So, what brings momentum is visible progress to yourself. What brings momentum as far as inspiring myself to do this for the right reason is visible progress. Kind of like the broken window theory of, what I say is, visible clutter attracts more visible clutter. It just does. If I have a pile of stuff on there, that pile is going to grow whether I'm aware of it growing or not. It's like, there's already papers here, so why not put another piece of paper here?
Exactly.
But a clear space catches my attention more as being, this space is clear and it deserves to be clear. But all that is a visibility thing. So going ahead and keep doing what you're doing and say, okay, how can I move out from the spaces that I'm visibly keeping under control? How can I move out from those spaces now and
grow them bigger?
Yes. Grow them. So remembering that the visibility rule, the way that you build that momentum, those two things go together, is you appreciate the visible progress that you've made.
Mm-hmm.
And
maintain it.
Yeah. Yes. And when you have that motivation, which is going to come quicker because of the visible progress, you say, okay, I'm going to go back and work again. I'm going to start in the visible space, but this time it only takes me 5 to 7 minutes as opposed to 3 hours the first time I, decluttered it from years worth of collecting stuff or whatever. Right. I'm going to focus on that. And then in the additional time that I have, I'm going to move to the next most visible space. And then I'm going to work on that space and do the hard decluttering that takes time and effort and lots of energy. And then I will be encouraged to, inspired to declutter again because
look what I did.
Yes, exactly. Like there's just a thing. And so it doesn't seem as overwhelming. And so, but then you start back in that most visible space, takes you 2 minutes this time because there's no hard decisions because it's only stuff that's appeared there in the last, couple of days or weeks or whatever. And then I move to the next one and that one takes me 5 to 7 minutes. And then I spend hard, tough time on the next one. And so I think what you're asking is how can I be encouraged to work on my home for the right reasons? And that encouragement comes from making that visible progress. Okay.
Yeah.
So
doing the work.
It does. So it's like that. I know that the work I'm going to do in this visible space is not just for the sake of this visible space. It's also for the sake of building momentum, because this is a proven concept that if I will work on this space, if I will make visible progress, I'll be encouraged to make visible progress in the future. And the difference between making visible progress that way for the right reasons and the reality of, panic cleaning is that panic cleaning often involves stuff shifting. Because you you throw everything in that one room that you're going to be able to keep your guests out of. And so it doesn't have the lasting, real, satisfying momentum that visible space decluttering does. Like, because if we're going to declutter in my way, we don't stuff shift. And so it's like,
bury yourself alive. Right.
Right. And so it's like even though it goes slower, it's all very definite, real, actual progress, not pretend progress, but actual progress. And so, so as you do that, and then knowing this is harder right now, yes, I would be moving a whole lot faster if I knew somebody was coming over, but it's worth it because every decision that I make is a final decision. And that means it's going to be, So does that make sense?
Yeah. And it reminds me, I signed up for some reason at some point, the word of the day. Would you like the word of today?
Absolutely.
Crazy. It's quotidian. It means of or occurring every day. And it usually means it in a mundane sense. Like I sat down for my quotidian egg, I guess. But like I need to do these things every day so that I do build momentum and I continue to, instead of 2 steps back, 1 step forward, it's actually 1 step, 1 step, 1 step, 1 step forward,
Well, and are y'all doing 5-minute pickups?
Well, I am. I've been doing good with that. What frustrates me is I can't seem to get my family to enthusiastically join me.
Oh yeah, the enthusiasm is not going to happen.
Right? Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, it never will. You have teenagers, you know this.
Yes, they are not enthusiastic. Yeah.
One of my favorite things that you said when you talked about laundry day and your whatever it is that you filled out form, I don't know, was something about the teens asking them to do it. And I think like to do their own laundry on their day, asking them to, because you have teenagers and you know that that's part of our job as moms, like wanting them to just remember and be internally motivated. I mean, what are we just talking about is our own frustrations with our own inability,
our own selves,
to have that internal motivation. And so then placing that on them is not realistic. And that for them, right? Like, for them, you're a good mom, I mean, just the fact that you didn't complain about the fact that you ask your teens to do it, but you just accept the fact that that's the reality for teenagers is they have to be reminded of things until they get to the point where they care enough that they make it their thing. And so for you, like saying, it is what it is. I have to have methods, and I wish I didn't have to, but guess what I do? Like I have to say, and I still have to do it. I have to say to myself, visibility, visibility, visibility. Dana, do not neglect visibility. You will regret it.
Yeah.
You won't get as far. You're not, so it's all these reminders are actually important.
Yeah. Thank you for these reminders. And I do. They're my inner mantra. I say them to myself all the time. And I would like to have my own closet, nicely organized, but I would rather have the front entry hall, not an embarrassment or full of boxes that need to go to recycling or whatever it is. I can do the closet once I've got enough momentum that I can do that.
And once that gets to that point, then when the majority of your visible spaces are pretty much under control, they may not be perfect, but then you're going to be able to say, okay, wow, how in the world did I end up with 2 hours that I can actually work on something? And you'll be like, I'm okay with my visible spaces. I'm going to go work on my closet. And then also because of all the experience that you're going to have had in those visible spaces going slowly, but making real progress, that closet is going to look different to you than it used to before, you really gained all that decluttering experience.
And you're absolutely right. And it's experience and it's skill. It's like it is mental skill to that I'm working on growing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of ties in with another thing I wanted to talk to you about, just about limits. And I was thinking maybe I should share that my childhood, I grew up with my mom, who is a benevolent hoarder, I'm going to call her. She meant well, and she certainly wanted to shower us with love, and her love language was gift giving. I'm sure of it. And she didn't know how to, okay, maybe we should cut this out. Hold on. Gather my silly emotions.
It's okay. It's okay. You've heard me cry on my podcast. It's okay. I mean,
okay.
If you're willing to leave it in.
Okay.
What you're going through, because you loved your mom with all of your heart and you know that her intentions were best.
Yeah.
And sometimes wishing that maybe she had done things differently feels like a little bit of betrayal.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, right.
She wanted the best for you. So figuring out how to go from here, she wanted the best for you. So,
well, thank you for saying that. She really did. I know she did. And she ended up with a house full of stuff, and to the point where we had pathways through rooms that weren't usable, and a dining room table that was covered with years worth. For years, we couldn't eat Thanksgiving dinner in the dining room, even though that was her dream. And we couldn't really sit on the couch as a family once. There were 3 of us girls, and I was the oldest by 9 years. So I moved out to go to college, and my 2 little sisters were still there, and they couldn't have friends over, and they couldn't even sit on the couches as a family, just the 4 of them, because half of each couch was given over to piles of stuff. And my mom was a creative person. She was an artist, an art teacher. She saw potential in everything. She really did make wonderful things. But she was just struggling, She was just struggling. And I hate seeing that in myself. I don't want to struggle. I don't want my kids to have a house that no one can come over to, or couches that are unusable. So that's like a great motivation for me. But my mom, she wouldn't see my house as a limit or her house as a limit. She would see an empty wall and think, well, you can stack containers there. So I can give you these nice towels I found on sale, and you can store them till you're ready to get rid of your old towels and use these towels. And I would say, I don't want to stack bins in my living room, even though there's a wall right there, Mom. I don't want to do that. And so, so when she died and we emptied out her house, I found these beautiful new towels that I refused, and then I feel bad about stuff. I shouldn't be crying. I'm sorry. This is too much.
Okay.
But anyway, She knew I had it's so silly, but I had a rubber ducky theme for my little kids when my big ones were little. And that was our bathroom, was all like rubber ducky. And she found me rubber ducky towels. So that was heartbreaking because now we had moved houses and I no longer had a rubber ducky theme, but she had all these towels. And it breaks my heart. I don't know. But so we did use them. We ended up using them. But she had already passed. But you just do the best you can. And I really didn't want to have bins of unused towels or clothing that didn't fit my kids yet that we were going to grow into. I just want what we need and not more than that. And I'm sure my mom felt the same way, but she was a depression baby, that whole thing. And she really did just want us to have everything. So, but everything is too much. Can't live with everything.
Right.
You can't have, I don't think you can have quality of life and live with everything. I think you need space, and you don't even know what you have when you have, quote, everything. You can't have things in bins. They're out of sight, out of mind. And then I have experienced stopping my Costco membership because even though we have a large family, I can't have paper towels piled up, to the ceiling. I can only store one package of paper towels, and good luck finding it right now, by the way.
Right. So what's your question? I'm getting a lot out of what you're saying. I think what you're saying is very valuable, but I do want to get to, what is your question?
Well, so my question was sort of under the umbrella of limits. My mom, she didn't want to be limited by financial limits, so she opened a Kohl's credit card account, which wasn't great. But, sometimes finances can limit you in how much you buy and how much you store. Sometimes space can limit you, like your container concept. Like I can only fit this much in this container. But like with my mom, she didn't accept some of the limits that I accept. Like this room is not going to have containers in it of storage. This room is going to be just seating and a table, stuff like that. So my limit, I think, for me is really helped along by your idea of taking pictures, accountability pictures, and like that helps me see what the room actually looks like versus what I kind of, slob vision, what I think I'm seeing.
Right.
It's so great to use the Kindred Spirits page and take a picture and put it up there and then make progress from that. I think I'm babbling right now, but
it's okay.
So
here,
idea
is your question how you wish you would have dealt with her bringing you stuff? Is that what?
Yeah,
like
sure.
How do you deal with somebody who out of love is giving you stuff that you personally can't handle?
Sure.
I do.
Because I do feel bad about refusing it, but I also felt bad accepting it because I accept tons. We absorbed tons of her gifts and it was really overwhelming.
Well, I think it sounds like you came to a point where you handled it better than you used to, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Here's the reality is blaming yourself, instead of blaming the other person, even though technically it may be very frustrating, that they're doing things. But I've had to do with this with my mom, and my mom is very understanding that I have issues. I mean, she reads my books, so she knows, exactly what it is that I have to have. But I do a lot of times I will just be like, I'm sorry. I so love this. I wish I could take it. Thank you so much. But I've got problems. I can't handle it,
Right.
And so, and that may be, I know that there are some relationships in life where you want to be like, why can't you understand this? But at the same time, I mean, that's just, where does that ever get us? Instead just taking the blame and saying, I am so sorry. I can't handle this. I am so sorry.
That's accepting my limit.
I don't function well. Yeah, I don't function well with storage boxes in my living room. Like it just it doesn't work out well for me, And so realizing the one in, one out, so maybe
one in, one out.
Yeah, maybe you have and I know this is all in the past and I get it and that makes it even harder to talk about, but maybe you get to have brand new towels on a really regular basis. You know, like,
yeah. Right.
So, you know, I mean, my goodness, think of all the people at the thrift store who are going to love getting your barely used towels because you get brand new towels every 3 weeks, you know, or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. I love that because that allows her, let's pretend she's still alive, to do what she wanted to do, which was give me towels, you know, or give me whatever. And then I could just like, if I could have more easily let go of, what we already had, or not that anyway, but I love what you just said. Yeah.
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 Well, and there's also the reality too of what if you take those towels and you stick those things in your donation box, and then the donation boxes, you never get them out of your house. And then that, you know, it becomes another thing for you to say, like, I want to take these towels. These towels are amazing, but here's my problem. I'm so bad at donating my old towels.
Right.
And then the reaction might be, why would you donate your old towels? You know, but it's like, oh, well, because I don't have room for this, you know, so it kind of gives you opportunity to explain these concepts that, I mean, who knows if at a younger phase in her life, she might have heard the container concept and it might have changed how she saw some things, you know, I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean? I know
what you mean.
We're getting in, you know what I mean? But at the same time, but sometimes it's this putting the blame on the space instead of on you. It's not that I don't appreciate your stuff. Like, I love this. Yes, I'll take it. Do you mind dropping off my old towels at Goodwill on your way home?
That's awesome.
You know, because it also is a very, like, I mean, believe me, my in-laws have both passed away, but you know, their faces many times when I say things, I would really, you know, they would look at me like, like, all I'm doing is stating facts. Okay.
Right.
I'm stating the reality of the facts here, you know, which is I only have this much space. I can only handle so much, you know? So,
that's key. That's key. And also at the time when it was happening, I did also want to change her behavior, and that wasn't happening. I wanted her to stop spending money. I wanted her to not just buy me towels because she saw towels, you know, and I didn't understand. I couldn't change her like love language. Like that really was how she could express how much she cared about all of us, you know?
Which is one of the reasons why I appreciate you being willing to talk about it, because you being willing to talk about it, you have some distance. There are a lot of people who are where you were at the time when she was giving you towels who are just frustrated.
Yeah, it can be annoying.
Yes, and you're looking back and going, what if I hadn't wasted my energy on being frustrated and instead just did this? Because the other thing too is we don't know what would have happened, but if she gave you new towels and you said, hey, thank you so much. Can you take my old let me go grab my old towels. Can you drop them by Goodwill? Well, she might have been like, well, those are good towels too. So why would you want to get rid of those? And then you get the chance to explain, I don't have space for them. And that might have changed the next time she saw towels, because she might have said, oh, well, I love these towels, but I loved those other towels I got her. And if I get her these, she's going to want to get rid of those old ones. And so, you know, I mean, like, who knows where that could have an effect down the line. And so I think it's just really valuable that you're willing to talk about it.
Okay, cool.
Because I do think it's really going to help, because this is a common question. I mean, this is a question I get on the regular. Like, you know, it's what do I do about well-meaning people who want to give me stuff for my kids, for my home, whatever, and I just can't handle it. And I think I say this sometimes, but people get worked up when I start to say things about hoarding because, you know, it's out of my realm of expertise, except that your story is one I hear a lot, which is intentions are good. There are intentions behind the collecting of stuff that's actually good, which I personally can relate to, because my intentions were really good when I was bringing stuff into my home that I couldn't actually handle, you know? So
you were going to make money too. You were going to sell on eBay.
I did make money for a long time. I just couldn't, you know, it brought more in than I could actually deal with. So yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, which I sort of talked about already, but it was about when we hired Alice, like from the Baby Bunch, to help me with my dad. So one of the things she said to me, and I mentioned she was older and experienced, and I think she was one of those born organized type people. She just had a different way of doing things. She knew exactly when certain cuts of meat were going on sale at the grocery store. She knew what like circulars to look for.
What a great job for her to have then.
Right?
It's wonderful. I love it.
She was great. And, but because we were very different, she had the job of watching out for my dad. She was taking care of my dad 5 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and then she could get dinner going, and then she would leave. And she told me after she'd been here for months, she said, Autumn, I watch you. God, this hurt my feelings. I watch you spinning your wheels all day, and you don't even sit down, but you're not really getting a lot done. And I was like, don't say that. I worked hard all day.
Yeah.
I did get stuff done. And she was like, no, not really. And she insisted
Alice.
I know, right? She said I didn't know how to do it. And she meant her way. I didn't know how to do it her way, but her way was to start in the upper left-hand corner of a room and work her way clockwise in each room. And you don't leave the room until you're done. And she meant like not just dusting for cobwebs, but like tidying and putting things away. And you just work your way clockwise. And my brain does not work like that. But I tried. I have tried. And when I do, it does hurt. It feels very not natural to me.
Well, here's the thing that I'm hearing there is that the key phrase was the don't leave until you're done. And I think, because you've read my books and listened to the podcast, that phrase right there can be a real overwhelming stumbling block for a lot of us because we're like, did you listen to Divya's episode this morning?
Most recent one. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, you heard her mathematical analysis of things.
Yeah. The algorithm. Yeah.
Wasn't that so fun?
Yeah. That was awesome.
But I think that's kind of what's going here is like for the most of us who relate to what I talk about, we need it's the same as the decluttering without making a bigger mess. It's the take it there right now. We are setting ourselves up for failure when we start something that has to be taken all the way to completion before we can actually, be done. And so instead, and I think obviously Alice knew how to do things. And Alice was exactly right for her. Like she had found the thing that worked for her. What you need to know is to give yourself permission to not feel like a failure because that didn't work for you. Okay. Instead, to remember, I need to build that momentum. So I need to focus on dishes getting done, being done. That's where I start. So where she starts at the, corner of her room, because I'm guessing most likely it would never even occur to Alice that people could leave their dishes undone. I don't know.
You're right. That's who she was. Yes.
Yeah. We didn't talk about dishes, so I have no idea where you are on that. But instead of saying, okay, that would be great once I have a lot of other stuff under control to maybe give that a shot again. But even if you never get to that point, it's fine. Because I say, go with these big tasks. I'm going to do my dishes every single day. I'm going to make sure they're finished. And I'm going to do that every day until I figure out the rhythm and the method that works best in my home with my family. Yeah. I'm also going to, do a 5-minute pickup every day because that's going to have more impact for you and your personality and the way that your home runs than doing like you already said that it's not that fun to do a 5-minute pickup with the family. Well, it's also not fun to start in the corner for you and go all the way around.
It's true.
But I'm going to tell you that you're probably going to see a bigger impact in your home by doing the 5-minute pickup with your kids, even though it's not fun. Like there's going to be a bigger long-term impact that's going to build more momentum for you than feeling like a failure because that method isn't going to work for you. And you probably knew that the minute she said it. But I understand, because that was me too, is I was like, I feel like I am working, running all day long and there's nothing to show for it. So the goal is to have something to show for it. Meaning if I'm going to declutter, I'm going to start with visible spaces. If I'm going to get the dishes under control to where they don't require a whole lot of time on my part. They really are a minor job. I'm going to, anyway, so I think it's that all those things of building momentum are going to have that impact, but it's not necessarily going to be to get to the point where you can do things the way Alice did it.
Right. You're absolutely right. She's different. She's different than me.
Which is awesome. And that's how we're supposed to be. I mean, like,
yeah, that's true.
but me wishing I was like Alice doesn't get me anywhere.
That's true.
But doing my dishes gets me somewhere,
Right. And I do want to, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we didn't talk about dishes, but I do want to say it was for the longest time my main focus. And we did get rid of dishes, and we got rid of Tupperware, and we got rid of anything that I didn't love using, coffee mugs. We just got rid of all the extraneous things over the years since.
As you worked on the dishes habit?
Yeah. I mean, we moved into this house 5 years ago, and we just moved a lot less in. That was a big decluttering, purging time. But it had everything to do with your books and reading things you've written, and also Fly Lady help too. But I don't go to bed unless the dishwasher is running. And the very first thing I do every morning, it's either me or one of the kids, because it is a chore that we have assigned, but sometimes they're in school, but to empty the dishwasher so that our breakfast dishes can go in. We are lucky we have a dishwasher, and every night we run the dishwasher, and my big push is to get everything hand washed that didn't fit, so that in the morning you're met with not an overwhelming kitchen. The kitchen is key because we spend so much time cooking, but it has really not been mentioned because it's really feeling pretty good. The kitchen feels pretty good.
Well, how long ago was Alice in your house?
2 years ago now, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do occasionally use the laundry chute. I got to say, we do still rain endless laundry down, but it's nice having a chute. She suggested we paint it shut. Use it again.
Oh, Alice.
Right. Okay. But it is nice to not have to carry wet towels.
Oh, yeah.
Lights. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what is your favorite thing about being a kindred spirit?
Well, I think I wrote the answer was that I love that we have language in common. We have your slob speak. When we say slob vision, we know what we mean. We know what we mean when we say an awkward pause, how to fill an awkward, these terms are great, this vernacular to have in common. But I also really just love that tool that I can post pictures and not worry about the judgment. I'm in some other Facebook groups, organizing and cleaning groups, and oh my goodness, I wouldn't dare post a before picture in those. People just have fits. and some of the before pictures that I post, I simply do it for accountability to myself. This is what it really looks like. Now others have seen it, but they're not going to rain judgment on me. They're just going to, this group is just so great. They're just going to rah, 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 and that's a good job when I post any kind of improvement. And it's good. It's like a starting gun going off. Okay, now go and try to make some difference, and it doesn't matter if I make a huge difference or a little difference. But that's really fun. So I don't know if that answered, but I
love it. That's great.
Yeah. And the opportunity to talk to you. Holy cow.
Have you been on the Zoom calls that we've done lately, the big group?
No, I shy away from Zoom calls. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. They've been a lot more fun than I didn't know what to expect, but it's been a lot of fun just to kind of.
I should try.
You should try it. Yeah. I think it's been fun because the first one that we did, I said, okay, everybody kind of tell us how we would identify you from what you've posted in the group,
Oh.
and it's fun because it's like, oh, that's who did such and such, or that's who this or that or the other, whatever.
Oh, cool.
We've done 3 months now. I'm still not guaranteeing I'm going to do it every single month, but it's been fun. So I might at some point.
Well, I'm the one that has all the plants. I love plants. There's no plants in my background here, but I'm looking at plants. I love plants.
So and I cannot keep them alive. My husband keeps our plants alive, but anyway.
Oh, good. Yeah, my dad was the green thumb in my parents' house. Yeah. But water once a week. Give yourself a schedule. Sundays is our day. And
that's good.
I live that way.
That's good.
It's
water. Who would have thought they need water? I mean,
Right. Right.
I have some hanging plants that are all dead now. And my son, he likes to say, Mom, these look great. I mean, every single time when he comes home from college, he's like, Mom, and I'm like, okay, I know. I need to throw them away. Anyway.
That's your dried herb garden. You're going to be cooking with those. Right?
Something or other. That's what it is. Right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being willing to come on here. And
thank you for having me.
I have
such
really
an honor.
Well, and fill us in on, if you get those socks thrown away or donated or whatever. And
all right. I will. On the page, I'll let you know.
Okay. Wasn't that fun, guys? I mean, really. I just enjoy these conversations with you guys so much. If you are interested in being a patron of the show, you can join Patreon at the $5 a month level or more and be a patron of the show and get to join our super secret Facebook group that she was talking about. And you can also apply to do one of these sessions. So anyway, just go to patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean to find out more about that. And just a couple other little things. Don't forget, I think I'm going to be doing the writing thing soon that I've been talking about in previous podcasts. If you want to know more about that, go to aslobcomesclean.com/write. And always just sign up for my newsletter so that you don't miss when I have different special things going on, because I do have something really kind of cool coming up at the end of December. You can go to aslobcomesclean.com/newsletter, sign up there so you don't miss anything. Okay. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.